BlackBusters.
What's cracking, family? What's going on, man? We are back with another episode of BlackBusters, the best movie review podcast in the world.
In the world, Craig.
In the world, Craig.
In the world,
Craig.
Mm-hmm.
I'm your host, Big Ja, along with my co-host,
Trombone Tone.
He's ready. Trombone. Hey, man, Trombone Tone.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, man. We are here with a very special guest, man. This is a pleasure to have him here, man. And he said, before I tell you who it is, he said he had to do this film, and I understand why. Mm-hmm. It's one of the smoothest films you'll ever watch, bro. Yeah. It's just so much going on, and the performances, man, the storyline. It's just a great film. But before we get to that, I want to welcome the illustrious, intelligent, bold, very strong-minded, very
opinionated,
very opinionated. This brother Marc Spears.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for being on the show, brother.
I know you see me on the video.
You see me on the video. True. You've seen him on ESPN. You've seen him on various. You probably read
NBA
so much
Today,
of his NBA Today.
Read his stuff.
Yes. It's a pleasure to have you here, brother.
Man, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm like a huge fan of y'all's. Like, brother, I've been like bugging y'all to come on.
Nah, man, it's a pleasure.
No, let me give y'all flowers.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate it, man.
Y'all idea is amazing. Like from the beginning, it was a dope. I don't know which one. Maybe it's collective.
Brother Tone, man.
We worked it out.
We worked it out for sure. But it's definitely a collective situation. But it's just I'm glad that you like it. I'm glad that we're doing it this far. Yeah. It's been a great ride.
But y'all differentiated yourself.
Thank you, man.
In the world of podcasts, I think it's extremely hard to find a different lane. Mm-hmm. There's 5, 50, 60, 70 basketball podcasts where they're all interviewing the same folks, right?
Yeah.
But y'all picked a lane. Like when I tell my people about it, they're like, "Word? Like this is different." So man, respect for that.
Yeah.
And then I was a subscriber to your app, man.
Oh, thank you so much.
So, like, dude, I'm waiting for the TV show, man. You need to be the new Martin.
Hey, that's the goal. I'm working on it.
Like, bro, I'm being like real. This ain't like,
exactly.
Like, it is that funny.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And I'll be like sending these clips,
Oh, man.
And send it to my boys, and we just die laughing. We like, yeah, we did that.
Yes, indeed.
We did that. So, man, but salute to y'all.
Thank you, man.
And when y'all get too big, man, maybe I could do another movie, man. Y'all might
never
forget
too big.
me, dog.
I remember very early on, because like I said, Ja's got 1 million followers, right? So I'm sure he's, not a full flower and some weeds is what I'm going to do. But but I'm sure Ja is used to people of note, reaching out to him and appreciating his stuff. And I remember when we first launched the BlackBusters podcast, your name was one of the first names of someone of note that was like, I like this.
Yeah.
I think this is dope. Yeah, and it meant so much to me because I wasn't used to that. And it was just like, fuck, like, they're people who are important, of note and substance, who like what we're doing, like who like our approach to talking about films. And we've talked about this, like, being Black film critics is not a common occupation.
Yeah.
Like, like people love these movies.
Right.
So like to give them real, honest rewatches and critiques and to talk about its application to the world then and its application now, it's been a great journey.
And I bet you these Black filmmakers wish this was around before.
Yeah.
Like if you think about the history of Black, it was like Siskel and Ebert, and I thought they were fair.
Yeah.
I thought they were fair.
I liked a lot
but most of the stuff I would read in the paper were not like Black people. Like they didn't understand it.
They're from people that didn't understand it. That didn't get it.
So they destroyed it.
Exactly. And this movie is good, but it's not great.
Because they didn't get
6
it.
out of 10. Like
they don't understand the characters.
Yeah, they
even
can't relate to the experiences that these characters
There's no way a Black musician lived in such an establishment.
Right.
Yeah, right. Right.
You know what I mean?
And in fact, and little do they know that. Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
I got things to say. Yeah, I learned, and I was. It wasn't today's years old, but I learned this information about this particular director, maybe 10 years ago, and I've been watching him for 30 years plus. And we'll get to that too.
Yeah.
So this Marc Spears is here, and we're going to discuss one of the best music films of its time, if not all times. It's
most
just
underrated film. Of all
so
time,
underrated, man. Yeah. So underrated. Yeah. We're doing Mo Better Blues.
Yes,
Mo Better Blues, and it make, man, if this movie don't make you want to be a musician, does it make you want to like? I remember being a kid, and my mom is from New York, right? Mm-hmm. She's from Harlem, and she tried to put any and every instrument in my hand, from violin to clarinet to saxophone to piano, and I just rejected it all. I tried it. I played the violin in third grade, third and fourth. Yeah. And the trombone. You played the trombone? Trombone tone. Yeah. I played the violin, the clarinet.
You was on the violin, dog?
Yeah, third grade, bro. And I quit. This is why.
Playing hot cross buns.
Man, I'm playing at 42nd Elementary School, man. I'm playing and my string pop, my E string. Bing! In the middle of a recital. Oh. I was done. At that point, I was giggling, and I was too cool at that point to be humble enough to just, I'm done with the violin, because that won't happen with the trombone or the trumpet or the saxophone, but the violin, it was out of my control. It popped, and everybody heard it, saw it. I'm in the front, standing up. The flutes are here. The strings are on the side. Standing
was you the same size too?
I was big, but I wasn't this size just yet.
I'm surprised they didn't give you the big bass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You look like a
big hammer, bottom hammer.
That's a dope name.
That's
yeah. They all had great names.
Names are crazy.
They had great names.
Man, let's get into the film. Man.
But hold on, before that, Mark, where are you from?
That's right. I'm sorry.
Like, give us some us and the people background on where you from, where you grew up, how you got into, your career, just to to certify your bona fides for the pod.
Right. Yeah, I'm from the Bay.
Okay. Oh, yes.
I grew up in San Jose.
Yes, sir.
East side San Jose, and grew up a big sports fan and had Sports Illustrated when I was a kid. Read the San Jose Mercury News sports page. In 7th grade, there was a guy from the Warriors who came down to San Jose and came to our career day, and I was like a big hoop head. But I also remember seeing a stat that like less than 2% of all college basketball players make it to the NBA, and that always like stuck with me. I was always kind of a realistic kid. For some reason, the guy from the Warriors, he asked me, "Well, what do you want to do when you grow up?" I'm like, "I want to play for y'all." I was like, "Well, what if you can't? What if you get hurt? What if careers can be short?" And I'm like, "Oh no."
Right.
And he said, "Man, if you combine what you love most in life with what you do best in school, you have a job that you're happy with every day."
Right.
And I really, really thought about it.
Great.
And I was like, okay, I suck in math, I suck in science, but I could write.
Right.
I love sports writer. And I was like, if I can't play in the NBA, the next best thing is to be there.
Right.
So I came up with this in the 7th grade from that advice. Best advice I ever got. Teacher, Miss Thompson, she said, well, you got to write somebody in the industry that you are interested in. So I wrote this sports writer named Mark Purdy from the San Jose Mercury News. He told me everything I need to do from 7th grade through college to be a sports writer. Wow. I got a cheat code in the 7th grade.
Damn. Hey, man, that's a blessing.
To be a sports writer.
That's
now,
a blessing.
So many years later, I've been covering the NBA 24 seasons. I've covered over 20 All-Star games, over 20 finals, covered the Olympics, went to over 20 cities, covering basketball, and now I'm getting the Kirk Gowdy Award. I'm going into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame.
Amen.
As a writer.
That's dope,
not as a player, but as a writer.
As a writer. So you
only
one
one of 3 Black journalists who have gotten this award.
One more time. Say that again. One more time, please.
It's me, David Aldridge, and Michael Wilbon. Oh, and David Dupree.
Amen.
4 of us.
That's
4 of us
dope.
has gotten that award.
Wow.
So we could talk about that for 2 hours.
Yeah, really.
Literally.
The award is what's the award again?
Kirk Gowdy Award. But I'm in the Hall of Fame, man. They can put my name in the bathroom or upside down in the hallway. I'm in.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Got there.
So,
hey, man.
11th,
That's dope.
Got there.
It's a blessing.
Speech. Yeah, man.
Yes, indeed. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Thank you.
That's dope, man.
Love
that. That's a blessing.
Ain't that a trip, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing,
because, like you said, just like football, basketball as well, baseball, all sports, most kids who love the sport, they play it their whole life, and they're not going to get to the upper echelon of the sport for several reasons. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes injuries, sometimes you just don't cut it.
Most just
Sometimes-
ain't
And it's
good
difficult.
Yeah,
It's difficult.
And, and that's saying a
That's
lot.
so hard
though.
to get to the
Yeah.
league.
It's so hard. It's hard. Yes, man.
Any league.
Any
It's
league.
hard to play in college.
True.
It's
True.
hard.
And you'll see when you get there, you're like, damn, everybody good.
Yeah, that was the first.
I was
trivia
a
when I
3-star
played.
recruit, but this dude was 5.
Everybody nice.
Everybody
got a
nice,
respect.
and you learn that in the first week.
Yeah.
So when the pads
Like,
get on,
dang,
or for basketball,
nobody trash.
yeah,
But it's-
nobody's trash.
But it's one thing to get there. It's another thing to have like a 20-year career there.
Man, get
Right?
there and stay there.
To get there and stay there.
Mhm.
Like, we cover a lot of these films, and a lot of these great actors were like, man, they were great. They only had like 3 or 4 years
Mhm.
of a good run. You
Yeah.
know, to do something that you love and that you're passionate about, and to be able to do it for such a long stretch,
Yeah.
man. cheat
Entertainment,
code.
athletics, there's always the next person behind you,
Yeah.
especially with sports.
Yeah.
Imagine being top first, second, third round.
Mhm.
The very next year, there's another first rounder, second, third,
Yeah.
fourth. There's
Yeah.
another you, another
Yeah.
maybe not the same person, obviously not the same person, but there's another
Yeah.
all-star. There's another Heisman winner. There's
Yeah.
every year.
It's interesting though, because I don't believe generationally the up and coming generation loves words the way we love words.
Yeah.
I think it might even deal with why we love this movie so much.
Yeah,
Because this movie harkens back to a time that I think us of our generation can still relate to. I don't think there's 25-year-old black kids having appreciation for jazz the way that we
Man.
do.
man.
Right? Like, you know,
Man.
like there's something
This
lost.
is a small
Small-
pitch
They
for
need to be.
Yeah, but they need
Masego
to be.
and
A lot of the
few
rap
other
beats are
dudes
taken
that hang
from
out with
jazz.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and think about it. Like, so Mo Better Blues is a film that came out in 1990. But it came out in 90, but it was more. It felt like late 80s.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know. And if you think about it, R&B was around, hip hop
Yeah.
was around, but
You don't
a
feel
lot
it
of
in the
those
movie.
90s films, especially Spike Lee. Spike Lee is the one who wrote and directed Mo Better Blues. For those who don't know, y'all all should know for sure though. He has his films are filled with jazz music.
Yeah. Well, his dad,
Yeah.
Bill Lee,
Bill
is a
Lee.
big time jazz artist.
And here we and that's one
Yeah.
thing I learned.
I think he
only-
recently passed away too.
Damn, God
Yeah.
rest his
Rest
soul.
in peace.
But yeah, so and his music is all through this film.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of Spike Lee films, you hear his music, his score, his scoring,
Yeah.
his jazz is filled with jazz.
A lot of
that,
Coltrane.
a lot of
Mhm.
Coltrane, but a lot of his father as well. His
Yeah.
dad was a dope jazz musician,
Yeah.
and he always paid homage to his father by putting his music
Yeah.
in the.
Dad was in it.
huh?
Did you know which one was who? You
Wait,
know whose
wait,
dad was?
Who was
Hold
his
on.
father?
Who? Bless me with it. Go ahead.
His dad was there at the end at the wedding.
At the in the front.
Yeah.
They got him.
Yeah, in the front.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought. I said.
That
I
was his
wonder
dad.
Who was showing
Because-
out like
yeah,
that?
yeah,
I saw his
yeah.
name in the credits. I said, okay, his pops is in the movie.
Yeah.
But I was like,
He was at the
I don't
wedding.
know what he looks like. I said, but that, yeah.
Yeah.
Having the time of his life.
Yeah.
This
That's
movie is interesting for me
Mm-hmm.
because when I think about Spike Lee and Spike Lee's movies,
Yeah,
Do the Right Thing is the one that kind of gets all the acclaim,
of course.
right? Like, you know,
School Days.
S-
Those
School
two.
even like School Days, but Do the
But
Right Thing is the one
yes.
that really
Yes.
gets the
Yeah.
acclaim.
Yes.
And Malcolm X.
Malcolm X
Mhm.
shows that he could take a big budget, meaty,
Yeah.
large project. But when I think about Mo Better Blues represents the filmmaker that Spike wants to be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Like it is. If I wanted to tell anybody about Spike's aesthetic, I would be like, watch Mo Better Blues.
Mhm.
And there's good other films. There's Jungle Fever and Crooklyn and all these other movies. But this movie is quintessential Spike.
Right.
From the colors
Mhm.
to the shot selection,
Yeah.
to the
Codes.
arguments, to the
Mhm.
you know, to
Yes.
the beats, like all of it is very Spike Lee.
Man.
It's slow paced. They don't make movies paced this slow
Nah,
anymore,
but it's
right?
so-
like you know,
it's-
but it's
But
perfect.
it's fast paced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slow paced.
because of the relationships between the characters.
Mhm.
The roles are so dynamic, and you see, and it's so real to me because I'll break it down in a minute. But I want to tell y'all, Spike Lee wrote and directed it.
Mhm.
It starred Denzel Washington, of course.
Yeah. Peak
what-
Denzel.
Yes, peak Denzel.
Crazy cat.
crazy charisma, and you see, I forget how funny and how hip he. When I say was, he still is who he is.
Yeah.
But like he
And
was
how handsome.
Yeah, but I mean,
that was when he was at the peak of his.
Yeah, like this
is,
version of
and
Denzel.
This here, the quintessential
Yeah.
lip rub pause. Man, he was so
like
smooth.
in all the movies he's had. Would you say if you put all his characters together, that was the coolest cat?
The coolest cat.
The coolest one.
Bleek Gilliam.
Yeah.
That's
the name is just dope.
the Bleek Gilliam is just
sound like a great basketball name.
Right.
Three,
Bleek. Yeah, Bleek Gilliam. Yeah, it's a superstar name.
Yeah.
He plays a young man that leads a quintet. He's a trumpet player, and he has his own band, Bleek Gilliam. Quintet. And Bleek or Gilliam's or Bleek's quintet, right?
Yeah.
And Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes in the film and
peak. This is peak.
Peak Wesley. This is when these guys were both at the peak.
This is like
of
Avengers Endgame.
Man.
And you got all these like Giancarlo, you know what I mean, on the piano.
Giancarlo,
Bill Nunn.
Bill Nunn. Come on, man. It was
Spike
like,
was in it.
It's Avengers Endgame, man.
Yeah, and Charlie Murphy had his little
Robin Harris.
Robin Harris
was really good in it.
He was. He was great. And it felt like they had so much fun making this film, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They had so much fun making this film.
It was so cool.
And it's so real. It's so realistic as well. If you think about it, I think a lot of young men in the entertainment, athletics, anywhere you can relate.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
A lot to learn from.
Oh yeah. This Bleek was in his own world. And the women around him, the beautiful women around him, bro. This was like one of the sexiest, smoothest films you can watch, bro.
Now, but you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. You know when I knew this movie was gonna be dope?
When?
You're sitting there, the previews are done, then all of a sudden, UNIVER.
Universal, baby.
And that was Flavor Flav.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's not even in the movie.
He's not even in the movie.
He just
was hype, like they was hyping it up before it started.
That was a decision.
Spike had so much pull, and everybody loved Spike, and he was dope. He was just so dope. And anybody, hey bro, put me in the movie. I might not be able to put you in the movie, but I'll put you in the movie in some way. And that was that to your ear. Like, this about to be a crazy ass film. You know what I'm saying? You got Flavor Flav at the beginning, the ultimate hype man. You know what I'm saying? Hyping the film up, hyping the intro. It was just dope.
Yeah.
And
what's interesting is that like this movie of Spike's early movies is one that doesn't focus in on race.
Right.
Like all of the other films, race plays a heavy part of it.
Mo and Josh.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Right? But I wouldn't say
they had contracts and they
had the money
and they never ever negotiate.
Right.
I like
contracts.
I love you.
Yeah.
Your guy made this deal. Like,
man,
that's business though too.
So there's so much to unpack because here's the thing, like Denzel Washington's character Bleek Gilliam, he leads his band and they have a residency at this jazz restaurant or jazz club,
and they packing it out.
They packing it out every week, right? And they want more money. You know what I'm saying? It's 5 of them on the stage, and they all masterminds at what they do. And Bleek plays the trumpet, and his co-horn player is Shadow Henderson.
Yeah,
Shadow. That's a
great name. It's another great
Wesley
name.
Snipes.
It's another
Shadow
great
Henderson
name.
on the saxophone, and the I forget what.
But that's like the typical, like black clowning where it's love at the same time, like called dark skin brother Shadow, called short guy giant.
This is the time.
Very black.
And at that point,
nobody blinked. That was his name.
Right. Yeah, and he was. And I feel like he's the type of guy that could accept that nickname and move because he
had pride in that name.
Yeah. And as the jazz
Shadow Henderson.
And I just love the way he introduced everybody in the band. The way he said it twice.
Yeah.
He said, let me get the names down. He said Shadow Henderson.
Yeah.
Shadow Henderson. Twice. Bottom Hammer. Yeah. Left Hand Lacy.
Left Hand Lacy.
My
bad.
Yeah.
Left Hand Lacy.
Man.
They were all dope.
Yeah. They were all dope, and they were family, even though off stage they went back there and had issues.
What was the drummer's name?
The drummer's name was where is he at?
Rhythm Jones.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Rhythm Jones.
But what was his real name?
Jeff Tane Watts. Or Jeff Tane.
He was an actual
Watts.
jazz musician.
Yeah,
he can't fake drumming.
Hey.
So Branford Marsalis told me like he's a
it's too much going on.
Yeah.
You can't fake that.
Yeah. And
because he had like barely any words.
Yeah, hardly any words.
Yeah.
But his shots were, for me, when you see the underhand drummers,
you know what he's doing. He gets nasty with it.
Stick like this.
With it.
You know what I mean? Like like you see a lot of this today, but like that old school
in the pocket,
man, cutting up.
I've been on tour for some years with the artist, and he had a band with him. And he had 3 different drummers at one point in time throughout like the 4 years I was there. And to see the different styles.
Yeah.
There's 3 different drummers, all nasty, all cold, but they got different styles.
Yeah.
One guy is in pocket, and other guy is a little bit of both. And then one guy is like, I don't drum in pocket. So I know how to, but it's just not my style. He's from Atlanta. Shout out to the homie Ali. He Aliens with him, who he goes by, but he's all over the place.
It's a great nickname too.
Yeah, I think all musicians have to have a cold ass nickname, man.
Yeah, Big Josh sounds like a good nickname.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Big Josh on the
Big Josh
on
the
bass,
on the bass.
Yeah,
on the violin. On the violin, man.
Pull another string.
Yeah, bro, pull another string, man. That traumatized me, man. At 3rd grade, bro.
But let me tell you one thing about this band that stood out to me. There was like little innuendos that you had to pay attention to. One, when and I'm sure we'll get to the dress situation, but he's like, yeah, remember when we were on tour in Europe? So basically, what they're telling you without telling you is, yeah, they had a residency at this place in New York or Brooklyn, wherever they were, but they traveled all over the world.
Yeah.
Like they had a residency at one spot, but this was a band that traveled. And I got the sense that they got really, really big, but they were locked into this contract at this residency where they were underpaid,
but
undervalued. What they showed me too, this is freshman college Mark, right? Like when Clark Benacourt went to Bleek's house. Like, I always go back to Boomerang, and we love my man
Marcus Graham.
Marcus Graham.
Marcus Graham.
This dude might have Marcus Graham beat.
Yeah,
he might
get it.
He might, dog. He might have Marcus Graham beat.
There's only one
because he wasn't like over the top with it. It was just natural. But when Clark hit this is 1990, dog.
Right.
He hits the thing, the intercom interface came up on a TV screen.
That is,
I was like,
what?
I said, wait,
this is 1990. It's like Dion having a car and the phone in his car, right?
Right.
And I'm like, he saw who was outside his crib, and then he buzzed her up and talked to her for a minute.
He talked to her, had a conversation, was like, you know what time it is? 1:00 p.m. He said, you know what that means? Yes, you know what that means, right?
I'm practicing.
That means I'm practicing. You know what I'm saying? It was. And
his house was dope, right?
His house was dope.
The flat, very good
the flat, yeah, man. He had it was like
Shadow's house was dope. Like, so my point is,
bring up a very good point.
All these movies we've seen mostly in the 90s, respectfully, like it was like brothers from the hood or brothers that were struggling, you know. But these dudes had money, they had power, they had game,
right? They had ladies.
Yeah.
And thing is, they had foreign chicks in the 90s.
Yeah.
And so there was a couple of times I heard the player or some of the musicians say, man, I need this gig, man, I need this gig. And you might think they broke. They're not broke. They just live a lifestyle. They got to keep up with the lifestyle. Because you saw Shadow's house. I'm like, whoa, his house is low-key more manicured than Bleek's.
He had like some crazy high-rise, right?
Yeah.
Everything all white, I think it was.
Right. So like you said, and through conversation and dialogue, you can hear that they've been working together for years. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a team.
Left hand is always like, he always this, he always that.
Yeah.
So they've been
But they love him, though.
They love him, yeah.
It's like their arguments were controlled.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, like, and they had legitimate beefs that they were kind of going through and things that they had to say. And obviously there's a rivalry between Bleek and Shadow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, so there's a lot of that happening there. But ultimately, it's all about the music.
All about
and they know they nice.
Love the music.
They know they all good.
They know they nice, and that, you know, and they just like brothers, right? Like
hey,
just like brothers.
Like brothers. On this.
What's happening?
I think Shadow and Bleek had a Kobe Shaq thing going.
Oh,
100%.
yes. Yeah,
100%.
perfect, because you would think that Kobe and Shaq hated each other. And then at the end of the day, when they were both retired, they had that sit down, they let you know it wasn't hate, it was resentment.
I want to be on top.
It was,
I want to be the top.
Yeah,
dog.
Kobe said it to him. He was like, bro, I resented him. He was the biggest and the best force I've ever seen, and he didn't work as hard as I wish he would have.
Which is a question I have for y'all. I'm jumping far ahead, but I want to say it now before I forget it and that we don't touch on it.
Okay.
At the end of the movie, do we think that Shadow's invitation to Bleek to come play at the spot was a subtle FUI1?
No.
Or do you think it was more genuine?
I think it was. I promise you, I think that. But you high tech tone.
But at that point, he's Kobe in 2008.
Yeah. I want more. I want more than Shaq.
Shaq in Boston, right? Like it's different then.
I get what you're saying. I promise you, I thought that
there was one look. There was one look that lingered, right?
When he walked out.
So you know, Bleek comes in and they give a hug, and it's almost like Shadow has won. He's the leader of the band, which is what he always wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the girl, which is what he always wanted. He put her on to sing. Yeah. He's the dope musician. I
think he wanted his.
And I think there was a quick glance where when Denzel is leaving, they cut back to Shadow.
Yeah, he's playing.
He's playing and he's looking.
But I think he had to keep playing, though. He couldn't stop.
Yeah. But I was trying to read into the emotion of that shot.
If you notice,
was it like I feel bad for my brother or...
He did.
Told you I was better. You know what I mean? Like, or subtle told you, because he was at the wedding and everything too. But I just wondered.
But time had passed. By the time he got married.
A year and some change. And I don't think he thought he was better. I think he thought he was a better leader.
He just needed
a better band member.
Yeah.
I don't think he questioned.
So there was no spike there.
You know what? Remember the line he said? When they were arguing, and it's the thing the Roots took in the front of their song, and he's like, you know, if you play the music that people like, people will come. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Like. So Shadow's mentality was, I just want to play popular music that people like that's going to bring people in.
Right.
You got us playing all this like old school jazz stuff.
Right.
You're not playing the Kenny G. Remember he said Kenny G stuff.
Right.
So Shadow wanted to play, and remember when he had his when he finally did get his band, he was playing a different, you know, where Bleek was old school, and he's like, when I get my band, remember he said when I get,
and he wasn't slick. He wasn't slick about it. He let him know, bro. When I get my band, 'cause I'm not gonna be here forever. You know what I'm saying? Even when they had the argument at the beginning of the film, when he was like, man, you can always quit, bro. You are gonna have to chill out on the solos, man. Not hour-long solos, bro. Chill on the solos. Yeah. He said, you know, or you can just quit. He was like, you know what? I quit. Yeah. I'm thinking he's serious. You ain't quitting. I'm just going to the bathroom. So it was like that fun love, hate, you know what I'm saying, sibling rivalry type thing.
But
But eventually he was like, bro,
the girl thing was shady, though.
The girl thing was
definitely was shady. It definitely was shady.
Dirty Mac for sure.
But when he dirty Mac in, but when he got confronted with it, he didn't deny it. That's one thing I'll give him that. He didn't deny it. He was like, okay, man, it is what it is, bro.
It's all part of the game.
Right. I agree. He was wrong for that.
He broke. It was
wrong for that.
I'm trying to taking your band and your bitch, right? Like he's literally
right.
He's literally.
It's shady. It's shady.
I mean,
Shady Shadow.
Shady Shadow.
You know what I'm saying?
Shady
Shadow. She's shady too.
She's
shady. But this is what I would do. This
obviously.
I think this is the era where
this is one of the more complex movies you guys talked about.
Oh hell yeah.
Sure.
Because I believe that she was in love with Bleek, and Bleek. I realized as a grown man watching it again, because I haven't watched Mo Better Blues since probably college, and I was like, man, dude's super selfish. And she was trying to get on. I want to sing a song with the group. Can I just sing a song? I've been working hard. And he didn't want to put her on there. He didn't want to put her up.
She was trying to get on.
She was trying to get on. But here's the thing. I think she really did care for him. I think she really did like him. She was willing to be
she definitely liked him.
Yeah.
But she loved her music too.
By the way, she gazed at him. And she loved his music. She loved his mind. But and she allowed herself to be the second woman.
She loved music more though.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she loved her music too. She was him.
Now here's the thing. Wesley was he was shady for snatching her, but he, if anything, he
didn't just smash.
He didn't smash.
Oh,
that's great.
Yeah, Denzel gave the half one. Spike was like, nah.
All the way through. That's full out smash.
That's great.
But at the end of the movie, they were together still.
Still together.
Years later. So it's a situation where it's like, man, and it wasn't like he tried to get the buns and he used getting her to sing with the group as a way to get in. Nah, he made good on that situation and he made her part of the band.
It's interesting. You know this movie has odd parallels to Purple Rain in many respects, right?
Yeah.
So how Prince's band had music that they wanted Prince to play, but Prince was so my name was on the marquee, Bleek, that he couldn't hear anybody else. That's what Shadow was kind of telling him. You only hear your own music.
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
You only hear your own music.
To stall out Shadow a little bit, like he wasn't all trash.
No, he's
he
talented.
wasn't. No. I'm not talking about talent.
As a person?
As a person. You think, you know what? Let me fall back because he was married. Hold on. He had a whole girl, didn't he?
Who, Shadow?
Smelling the sheets? Yeah, maybe he was smelling the sheets.
But I mean, they was all just smashing, right? He didn't have a wife, right? Like, they just all had
K9.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he was sneaking. Bleek let it be known.
Yeah.
The women knew I'm the second girl. I'm the other girl.
They knew about each other.
But once he called her,
he was honest.
He was honest.
You can say about
he kept it
Bleek.
100. That's what I'm saying. He kept it 100.
Here's how you knew
And they respected that. They could have walked away.
Here's how you knew Shadow was a real one. The same night they have this epic blow up,
they fight.
Is the same night that Bleek gets injured in the
alleyway.
And who's the first person
Shadow
to attend to Bleek? And Shadow.
And I respect that, bro, because I was
with the handkerchief, trying to cater to his
and
lips.
Said, my friend, you gotta help my friend.
My friend.
And we're not ever playing in this count. We're not ever playing in this club again.
Yeah.
They let these people come in there. Security watch him get smashed on.
Yeah, but that was all Giant's fault.
True.
So there's a Giant dynamic too, right?
True. Let's get to that in a minute.
So much.
Because man,
so much.
And
it has to be an hour.
We got more time.
You here, man? We gonna rock. We gonna rock.
Yeah.
So, the club, no matter who's at fault and who owes who money. Your club, you got to keep people safe. It's your club. You can't let people go in there and go in the green room and snatch dudes up out the green room, take them to the alley and beat them down. That can't happen. At that point, it makes you look crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At that point, it's like the Italians letting the black boys just do what they do.
You're supposed to protect your artists.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Fire him after that. Hey, get your manager up out of here.
But it's the thing is it goes back to Giant being Giant is that dude that you grew up with that
can't get right.
You had to cut off.
Yeah,
you got to cut off.
You
love him, but you got to cut him off.
You got to cut him off because he's only going to bring you issues. All of us had those friends,
and here's the thing.
Y'all can name that. You see that friend in your head right now. He mad watching this show right now,
bro. You know I love you. You know what I'm saying?
And I'll dap you up when I see you.
Yeah,
but man, I ain't letting you ruin what I got.
And he did,
and he destroyed
everybody told him. Everybody told him.
Even the girls did.
Everybody said, you need to stop fucking with Giant.
Giant is
club
a terrible
owners,
manager.
His girls, the band, everybody was like, and I was trying to figure out, like, so why? Because at first I started to connect, like, was Giant supposed to be the little boy in the window at the beginning?
Yeah.
Was that who he was supposed to be?
Miss Gilliam. Hey, how you doing, Mrs. Gilliam?
That was supposed to be that guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's what I thought. And I thought, like, because, okay, now this kind of goes to a bigger issue, and I want you guys to weigh in on this. When I watch More Better Blues, I'm asking myself, what is the thesis of this movie? Right? Like, like, what is this movie about? What is it? Is it about loyalty? Is it about selfishness? Is it about obsession? Yeah. Right? Like,
obsession.
So I try to connect the very opening scenes when they're kids to the closing scenes when they're adults. And I'm going, what was Spike trying to tell me from this point to this point about life? Is it about being more open, living life to the fullest, not being, so obsessed? And, that part is I'm trying to get my head around.
Also, too, I wrote a story on Randy Livingston, played in the NBA.
Yeah.
Remember that name?
Chicago.
He was supposed to be he was one of the guys, he's supposed to be the next Michael Jordan, and he blew out his knee before he went to LSU.
Right.
His NBA career, he ended up going to NBA, but he spent all his money gambling. And so the interesting thing about Shadow is, like, when you are drinking, you can see the physical effect. If you're doing crack, you can see the physical effect.
Yeah.
If you're gambling, we don't see it as most people don't see it as a physical weakness because, because it doesn't have a physical effect on you.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Because you're making bets and you get addicted to making these bets. So I think in a lot of ways, if Giant was a drug addict or alcoholic, he probably would have got cut off.
Yeah, he wouldn't be his manager for sure.
Yeah, but like I don't think people take gambling as serious as they do the other
At
things.
the end, even in the movie,
gambling was
like,
what brought him down.
Yeah, and gambling is what hurt your friend, bro. It took your friend's career from him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think he was still gambling. I think even
was.
when you see him again,
You know why?
like,
He had a cast on his hand at the wedding.
At the wedding.
Hey, that's I had never really
I didn't notice it till my last rewatch. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. He had he has a cast on at the wedding, and then
gambling.
When Bleek shows up,
it's a great catch.
To Shadow's thing, he's got a cane, right? Like so we see him injured
because
from that
in the alley they just beat him up.
Well, I thought that was
they
still
beat his
from
face
the.
Nah, they beat his face in.
They beat his face up.
Nah,
they didn't
bust his ribs.
They didn't bust his hip or his leg or his knee.
Remember, he said, "I make my living with my lips."
Yeah, I'm talking about even with Giant.
I'm talking about with Giant. They fucked Giant
up. They breaking his ribs and hitting his face. They never messed with his legs. That cane was from another injury.
Like if you connect the two, if you connect the cast at the wedding.
Yo, the writing is dope, right? The writing in this movie is sensational.
Yeah.
Clean.
And so, man, Giant is the ultimate reason why, and nothing else. Not his obsession, not Bleek's obsession, not his disrespect, or his what's the word?
And he was about to fire him too.
Yeah, he was. No, he did fire him.
Oh, he did fire him. Yeah,
he did fire him. Yeah. And Bleek, he's very selfish. And he's obsessed with the music, right? Yeah. But the reason why his demise, his career demise, was because of Giant.
Yeah,
Giant is the reason why Bleek got his face busted up and his lips tore up.
He can't play.
You know what I'm saying?
That
he can't play.
Sad.
That was super sad, man.
That was sad.
And I saw in the background, to answer your question about Shadow, you saw Shadow about to jump in and hesitated to like let him. I don't want to.
Let him try.
Let him keep trying. And then when he was just that bad, he was like, okay, let me just do that.
Yeah.
And then he looked at him when he looked at Shadow and basically Shadow saved him. And he just walked out. And the fact I won't, man. I made me emotional, bro.
That was great.
That made me emotional, bro.
That was great.
Because
I might have got some thug juice in the movie theater the first time.
Yeah. I won't sell it. I won't sell it. Because, man, Giant was a good man. He just was weak. A weak man. So with that being said,
it taught me then is like, yo, you got to cut bad people out your life.
You got
that was the message.
Yeah.
And you could tell in the end, he was just like cordial with Giant. They weren't close anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think that relationship.
You can't be close about, bro. Now,
I've lost everything fucking
if he went out of there and didn't sock the bookie, the henchman, then he probably wouldn't have got beat up. So really, his temper when the dude was like, "Man, I was gonna pay y'all tonight." He was like, "It's too late," and he turned around to sock the dude. That's really what got him beat up. But come on, man, you can't do that. But he was so upset they beat up on his little homeboy. You know what I'm saying?
But you guys did nothing, right?
Did nothing. If I see them, I'm taking flight. Bro.
I think Bleek is already kind of like starting to unravel.
Yeah.
At the beginning of that set, like Newton, like control.
Yeah.
Like control is a big theme for Bleek.
Yeah.
He talks about how his time is controlled. How, even when he goes out and plays catch what his pops, 3 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, so control and Bleek being at the head of the food chain, how he reminds everybody, my name's on the marquee.
Yeah.
Right? And so once he starts to lose control of the women and then thus feeling like he was losing control of the band, because the movie kind of starts with him losing control of the band, with him having to, reel Shadow in, just do the solo. So I think as he loses control, he starts to spiral. And I think that last feverish trumpet solo that he gives right before he walks off stage,
that was his last was
a reflection, almost like he was letting it go.
About that?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna break some news on here. You ready?
What's happening?
I know the story behind that.
Tell me. Tell us.
So if you look at the credits, the music director was Terence Blanchard.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So that trumpet that Bleek was playing was Terence Blanchard the whole movie, except for that part. So a jazz musician, who I'll leave nameless, basically told me that I asked him, I'm like, I've never seen anybody in any jazz concert I've ever attended in my life play that fast. Remember how he was playing?
Yeah.
And everybody was trying to
Everyone's
keep up?
trying to keep up, yeah.
How many times have you seen a musician play that fast?
I can't.
How many times have you seen it?
Never. That's what
Yeah.
makes it
That's
so
the trumpet
notable.
for sure.
Yeah. That's what makes
All
it
right.
so notable.
So Terence Blanchard didn't play that part.
Who did?
Wynton Marsalis.
Oh wow.
So Wynton Marsalis came in. It's totally at that time only like 5 people in the world could play that fast, which was fascinating. That Bleek.
Yeah.
Spike Lee wrote it into the movie. Like, why would you write in something? But I guess it was because of the anger, and he's also showing you, like, even as good as Shadow was, like, this is the dude.
Yeah.
Like, this is why he's special.
Right.
He just giving you an 81.
Right.
Right. Like,
Dang.
this is he's giving you that real 100.
Yeah.
Like, he put it out there, and them dudes was like, oh,
Then,
man, he getting buckets.
Afterwards,
But Wynton came in to the studio, taped that scene, but he didn't want his name on the credits.
I wonder why.
Because he wasn't like that kind of dude. Like, it was Terence Blanchard show. He respected it. These are both New Orleans folks.
That's a great nut.
That's dope.
But Wynton came in, taped that part, which I guess nobody saw the video of it, right? And left. Didn't want no credit for it. His name is not on there, but that was Wynton Marsalis.
That's dope.
Man.
That's super dope.
Because it was the red lighting while it's going on, the band struggling.
Yeah.
You could see him struggling to keep up.
Yeah, you saw a left hand. He was like this.
Right.
And the crowd is like, what are we watching now?
Right. He had went into a train. He locked in,
and that was it.
He went.
He locked in
8100. Right. He went.
Yeah, bro.
Like I've like rewound that part and just watched that part.
He was watching his boy get carried out, but he wasn't watching them. He was focused.
Yeah,
but you can see. I felt like the more once he got him outside, they started beating on him. He could cut back to him going crazy on the trumpet.
Yeah,
and he was focused. He saw it happen, and he got. But the music was so important. He had to finish. His set and then go see about his friend.
Yeah.
Remember,
And it was his final set.
But how amazing was that? Like the way he was playing.
It was crazy, but I don't know as much. I don't know the music world that tough.
Yeah.
I know.
Never seen that since,
Marcel.
right?
I know the name.
Yeah.
But like, bro, like that's remarkable musicianship, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And make me wonder. Like, man, I regret not learning these instruments I played as a youngster. I regret not.
But think of you guys ever DJ?
No, I tried to one time.
I'm trying to keep a party going.
But hey, like think about the RPMs. What was like the RPMs on that?
Yeah.
200. Did it get up to 200?
Yeah.
Like
I don't, man, crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's how fast.
And it sounded so great. He wasn't missing a beat.
And it filmed well. I mean, and Spike did I don't know how.
Like he probably just told him to play.
Yeah.
Just play and just go crazy.
And that's what he gave him.
And that's what he gave him.
Yeah.
And that's how it sounded.
Yeah. Real quick, man. That's crazy. I want to talk about the relationship with the women.
Yeah, and do you have time for us? I know you want to do on a tight schedule.
I got 45.
All right, well, so we good. We good.
Yeah.
Let's keep it popping in.
So Clark Bentecourt.
Yeah.
And Indigo Downs.
Yeah.
Man,
polar opposite.
And I wonder why Joey Lee, which is Joey Indigo, his sister, why she had. I thought that she would have done a lot more other films, but I loved her. I love her every time I see her.
Mm-hmm.
She brings such a warmness to with every character she plays.
Yeah.
And I loved her character Indigo. I loved it was completely opposite with Clark.
Yeah.
I dug them both. They were
polar opposites.
I dug them both.
I had a crush on Clark though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Clark, where did she go? Where did she go?
Was she in
Man,
was she in that other Denzel movie?
I'll look it up.
There's another Denzel movie that wasn't that great that she got in, and I think that was it.
I don't know.
But I thought she was gonna take off.
Yeah, because she did her thing.
Yeah.
She did her thing.
She just.
I don't think she was a great singer.
So I'm glad you said that, man.
I wanted to say she was, but dang. But they made her. Yeah. They made it seem like she was a.
She was kind of.
I was let down. I was let down for as much as we.
But
for as much as Shadow was putting on it.
The only reason why I wasn't let down because she was taking singing lessons a year or two before.
Okay,
now
you had it in perspective.
I had it. Yeah, so she needed lessons.
Yeah.
At that age,
but she was like it was like Shadow Henderson featuring.
Right,
but like you.
But I think his
she
band,
was Sade or somebody. Right,
his band is so strong and he's so nice with it that they made up for it. In my opinion, that they probably was like, yeah, she's okay, but Clark, the band is great.
Now, Clark has worked. She's worked.
What's her real name?
Her real name is Cinda Williams.
Yeah,
she's worked, but it's been a lot of like independent and like small bit roles and stuff across movies. Like you can see, like her filmography keeps going all the way to 2021, and then she's got like a little bit of work, New York Undercover.
That was her biggest one was introducing Dorothy Dandridge.
That was probably
I remember that,
but that's about it. Yeah. And you gotta realize who she was competing with in the 90s.
Hallie,
with that time,
Hallie, Vanessa, what's her name? Angela, Vanessa
Jada.
Bell,
you know what I mean? Like
Jada. Aaliyah was in that group too in the late 90s.
Aaliyah,
she was
younger, but for sure. But
if we think about the limited roles for black leading ladies during that, exactly,
that's who she reminds me of.
Yeah.
Like she could have got cast in Harlem Nights. Like if Clark was playing Sunshine in Harlem Nights, you'd be like, okay, that makes sense. I get it.
I love
but Leela gets that
Shout
because Leela's supposed to get it, right?
For doing Sunshine and then playing, I forget her name in Wait to Exhale.
Yeah.
But she played a different type of woman.
Yeah.
And she killed them both.
Leela's hot shit, man.
Yeah.
But I got to get you one of my boys is McKelty Williamson. You know that?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Williamson,
the brother that threw the orange.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he live in L.A.
Yes, you talking about what was his name? Oh, Woody?
Yeah,
I would love to have him, bro. Pause.
That's Bubba.
Man, yeah, Bubba and
Bubba.
Troy. Troy. Yeah. Lousy bitch. You know what I'm saying?
You raggedy bitch.
You raggedy bitch. Right. Is that man? He killed that man.
Mama.
Yeah,
he kills everything. He's a phenomenal actor.
He's a monster for sure.
Yeah.
He does everything. I've never seen him in something
Gump.
Bubba
That's Bubba.
Bubba Gump.
That's
you know
Bubba.
What I'm saying? Popcorn shrimp.
Yeah,
shrimp.
That's pretty good, John. That's a good. All right, so let's talk about the ladies before we get into some awards.
Okay.
All right. So we talked about the band.
Yeah.
We talked about the band. We talked a little bit about the thesis of the movie, which I think we all kind of have honed in on. Let's talk about this dynamic between Bleek and the ladies, right? Like, what was that all about?
I want to start by saying the beginning of the movie was very important to where he was forced to play the trumpet and do the scale. It sounded like noise, but for someone that young to be playing it that often, that long, mom was hammering it into him, and the father was like, "Let the boy be a boy," but he was letting the mom take control.
Right.
And
he ran the house.
He was. I hate it. I hate this. I hate this playing. I hate playing. You don't let me do nothing. I hate this. I hate the trumpet. Yeah. He ended up loving the trumpet like it was his woman, and that's what he told the women. I mean, I don't play. Nothing goes before my music. Anything else is secondary.
Yeah.
He let the women know ahead of time, if you're going to be in my life, you're going to be a second option. You know what I'm saying? And so they accepted that.
He was honest.
I
think you got to respect that.
You got to respect that.
Because they got a choice.
Yeah.
They chose to. They knew about it.
They knew what it was. The straw was when he said their names in bed.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the worst thing you can do, man.
I wanted to go rewind the film for him or something.
I said, come on, bro. Hey,
first you had to dress. You got to remember the dress thing.
The dress. That's the first time we saw him flustered.
And Indigo was like.
That was the first time. That was the first time.
You're getting disrespectful.
You're getting too comfortable, bro.
But
you're getting sloppy.
Despite, and it all goes into if I was to put on my Mark Spears hat, like my title for my article would be like the unraveling of Bleek.
Yeah.
Right,
the unraveling of Bleek Gilliam.
The unraveling of because the dresses isn't an unraveling, and they catch him off guard but he still smashes afterwards.
Right.
Right? Like, both of them smashes afterwards.
Mhm.
But they do point out, like, you can rehearse for 3 hours.
Face.
Yeah. You can rehearse for 3 hours a day. You never miss a note. How are you calling me by her name?
Either. They got him too, because he wasn't saying nothing.
He said, that's what I said. You called me Indigo.
Yeah.
No, I called you your name. He said, you called me Indigo. No. I called you your name. He was flustered.
He was flustered.
It wasn't me. Hey, it wasn't me.
And they were willing to accept it. Just don't. We've got our own world. Don't cause these worlds to collide.
But that was the only time. Well, when finally that basically, because he tried to
well, if
gangsta
you don't like
up
it, then
hey,
bounce.
Man, you don't like
you
it.
can't hang.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's the thing, real quick.
She said, I can't hang.
I don't know if y'all, I can't hang, and walked off.
Yeah.
What y'all think about this? This is a cool little take for me, man. It's a warm take.
Mm-hmm.
The trumpet that he loved so much was his mother, because in the rest of the movie she was not around, right? Yeah. So when he got into it with the women, he got up and he grabbed the closest thing, like mama. He grabbed his trumpet and held her close, held her tight. And he went to the window to try to play, but he heard that door close. He didn't even play the trumpet, but that's his safety net. That's where he
knows he
really
was,
incredible.
Because mom was hammering that trumpet that you're gonna play, and his mom was never seen except in that first scene.
Yeah.
Okay,
so that trumpet represents his mother.
There's so many,
and so he was in love.
There, right?
He was like, man, no one comes second, no one comes first before the music. The music represents his mother,
and he couldn't love until he let the trumpet go.
Right.
He could not have a life until
that was a blessing in disguise. Probably getting busted up. He probably would never marry.
But thinking about all the superstardom that was like,
oh yeah, he would have been the Coltrane of his era. Mm-hmm. He was already becoming that.
There had to be more ladies. Those were just
you know
the two
what?
local
It had to be. He for sure is not just with them two. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? You could be a regular dude working at Best Buy and have about 5, 6, 7, and you just that guy. Yeah. He has a
even his pop said as much.
He said, "Ladies," he was like,
his pop was like, you probably laid up with one of your girls. That's why you was late, right? Like wasn't like specific, but I think he's a jazz musician.
And Indigo came out and hugged the father.
How you doing, Mr. Gilliam? Give him a kiss and everything. I'm sorry I can't stay. I gotta go to work. Yeah, he knows. She knew, and there was no shame there.
But you know what, Indigo, she got so no pun intended overshadowed. By not being as beautiful as Clark, respectfully, right?
Yeah.
But she was much more beautiful as a person.
Right.
Because he actually treated her with more respect than he did Clark.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She required it, though.
Yeah.
Like, she required it. Like, the way he talked to her, the way you're absolutely right. Yeah. The way he woke her up. Hey, you gotta get up now. Come on. He kept saying it.
Yeah.
He tell Clark one thing. This is what it is. Take your clothes off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? It's true.
Right.
It's true.
And I think that's what it was like mentally, Indigo was stimulating him. Clark physically was stimulating him.
Right. He went to Clark, he went to Indigo first.
Yeah.
I mean, make sure she was cool first. And then he went to go deal with you know what I'm saying? Clark.
He could talk. You knew he could talk to her any other way.
You know what I'm saying? I invited you.
Because you're not gonna say nothing.
Right. You ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna see you tonight, right? All right. Enjoy the show. And he said, enjoy the set and walked off. And she rolled her eyes, and then she knows she getting smashed that night. You know what I'm saying?
But Indigo, she was like, the dress.
Why do we think Indigo forgave him? The easy answer is because she loved him. The easy answer is
he was different. He hit rock bottom.
And she knew he had hit rock bottom.
He begged. I'm begging. Please.
Save my life.
Save my life. You want me to save your life, huh? Yes. Save my life. Save my life.
That's an important line.
That scene, bro. I recorded that. I recorded
deep,
3 minutes and 33 seconds of that scene last night.
Yeah.
I watched it and I recorded it just so I could have it, man. As an actor, as a director, I watch stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
that was good acting, bro.
I don't put the scene was powerful and it was realistic because she didn't give in right away. It was like they purposely, Spike Lee purposely kept seeing the same shots over and over. Him begging.
Didn't she hit him?
She punched him a few times, like kind of like mushed him a few times.
Yeah.
Like stop touching me. Yeah.
He hurt her, man.
And she made him leave and he's walked out the door and turned back around before she closed the door on him.
Yeah.
And
I thought that mind was playing tricks on her. She's like, should I?
And so the trumpet,
he hurt me before.
The trumpet, his mom is done. So he gave a trumpet to his best friend and walked off and went to go get, that chapter's done. I'm done with that chapter.
Yeah.
Now I'm finally ready to settle down and now I'm finally ready to love. and be loved. Let me go get the woman. And based off the montage after he got with Indigo, that he made good by that. He became a husband, he became a father, and he became as a good person to her.
A teacher, a mentor to his kid.
So that music was just, but it represents his mother. His mother wouldn't let him do anything else but that. So in life, he did nothing else seriously but that. Nothing else had passion behind it except that music until he finally put it away.
And you have to imagine,
he poured into his woman.
Yeah, and you have to imagine that like a lot of what's wrong with Bleek is that he just doesn't have good personal relationships with people, right? Yeah. Like the fractured stuff that he has.
They're all surface stuff.
Because he wasn't able to put that time into developing friendships as a kid, right? Like, you know, he's probably loyal to Giant because Giant's his only friend. The only friend that he had.
I would say though, and this is based on like some musicians I know, like when they go on the road, they spend so much time together. So I think he did know those dudes well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even they obviously met Left Hand Lacey's, like they know there's a story behind Left Hand Lacey's girl, like where they don't like her.
Not at all.
Yeah, they don't like her. Man.
And he's a buster. He let her do all kind of crazy shit.
Yeah.
Hey man, everyone, all the ladies know not to come in the green room, but your lady. She keeps coming in here. What are you doing, man? You letting her? She's got
a I'm above this band shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, that's some that maybe has like some subtle racial undertones.
White privilege.
Right. That you can just feel
European privilege and all that.
Like the way she wasn't listening. Like they were like, listen, Gene, you got to get out of here.
Oh, yeah. Give me a minute.
One second. You know, another call out back to
get the fuck out of here, bitch.
To Indigo is Indigo. She says a line, you're only here because you can't play anymore. And Indigo was not, of course, at the concert. But I think Indigo always knew that was going to be his rock bottom. That the moment that he could not play was the moment. And I think that combined with him asking for her to save his life, I think at that point, she's able to turn the page and give him a fresh start.
Right.
Because everything else, she's like horseshit. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like they probably dated for years.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like they probably dated for years because the dad knew her.
Yes.
You know, she's been around for a while.
Comfortable,
Real, like she spent,
she probably goes back to the coffee shop with him. Like her tenure, like before he had blown up, because she talks about how she doesn't really like going out to like venues and seeing stuff like that.
Going to
I don't like
people.
I like listening to records at home.
Exactly. So they probably met on something very intimate,
small,
like not groupie-ish. You know, maybe when he was fresh out, like, you know, doing flyer gigs and stuff like that. You know, maybe she met him there.
The wall joints.
Yeah, that type of thing.
But I bet you he met Clark at the jazz club.
Oh yeah,
Clark knew all the waitresses.
Yeah, he saw. She probably was a cocktail waitress at one point in time.
Yeah.
And she worked at the record store. You know what I'm saying? So
Clark is an opportunist, but not a bad person.
No, right.
Like Clark was not trying to fuck with Shadow. Right. But Clark is low key trying to fuck with who's trying to fuck with her. And
like,
Shadow,
who's
trying to get me on?
Right.
Because she said as much to Bleek. Like, listen, I also sing, and I thought, like I'm digging you and I'm feeling you, and thought you might want to help me out.
Right.
Obviously, I was wrong. Cool.
And she made it known. She made it clear that she knows that you don't love me. So I'm not trying to talk to your partner like that.
Each other.
Yeah. I ain't mad at that.
Yeah, that's big love. She was like, that's not what we do.
Yeah. But you got a whole nother woman and you don't love me? Come on, bro. You can't trip.
I think you pass on the Shadow thing more than I would have passed on that, man. But I'm like, you can't do that to your boy.
You can't.
Yeah, Shadow is super shady.
And y'all work together too? Like closely.
So explain that type of personality.
That's why I think
it made him feel good to do something on Bleek.
Which is why I feel like in the end, that look from Shadow,
that hug was too long, man.
That look from Shadow,
like you saying, it was like, I got you, I won.
I'm the guy, and I don't think it's a spike in the end zone.
Oh, wait, let me stop you.
Yeah,
are you saying that this is like when Michael Jordan invited? Do you know this story? Jordan invited the dude that beat him out for varsity,
to
his Hall of Fame induction speech.
That level,
hilarious.
That level of
you never see that guy?
No. I know exactly what you're talking about.
He invited the dude that beat him out for varsity when Jordan was a sophomore. He wasn't even a junior yet; he was a sophomore. Dude was probably a senior, right? But he invited him to his Hall of Fame induction ceremony. He's like, yeah, you beat me for that spot, but I'm in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Did he say that?
He never said that, but that's why else would he be there? Right? Like,
he invited him to come there.
Too? No, they didn't have no relationship.
He invited him to come to Hall of Fame.
Do you think that Shadow and Bleek were friends? Or were they just partners in the band?
I think their friendship is complicated, but here's what I do believe. I do believe that there is a competitiveness between Shadow and Bleek, for sure. I think that Shadow's infatuation with Clark is one part because maybe he is legitimately digging her,
right?
And maybe he does like the way that she can sing.
But
I think another part of it is trying to get an uppance on Bleek, and I do believe there was something in that look at the end.
Yeah, I saw the look too. I just
Bleek walks off.
I want to believe that Shadow was sincere,
and if you look at it, it's not like my homie, damn. You can't play no more. It's almost like
I get it.
Checkmate, nigga. You know what I mean?
What y'all think? What y'all think was
like that.
What y'all think was Henderson was Shadow Henderson purposely inviting Bleek onto stage to perform a year and a half later after his injury,
and it wasn't
to
expose him?
I disagree with you because I think it was like, I mean. Like you said, but you said it was complicated. I agree with the relationship being complicated, but he knew that he was trying to throw him a rope.
You think he knew?
Okay.
And I'm glad you brought that up.
Trying to give him the last spot on the roster.
Because I thought about that when
he didn't have to have him come up.
He didn't have to come up at all, and he had to already know. Right. He had to looking at the injuries. At the injuries. You know what I mean?
As a musician, he probably knows.
He probably like he'll never be able to play again. It's almost like.
But it sounded good at first.
Damn, it did.
I think it's fatigue.
Yeah.
I think the muscles in his mouth, his paws,
can't do it anymore.
Yeah. And who knows? He might have. It might take him 2-3 years to get back.
Yeah.
He
I don't know. He probably had to have plastic surgery.
It almost like as a sports writer, it almost feels like that first blown ACL, right? Like they can do remarkable things now, but it's almost like you'll never get that level of explosiveness. Achilles. But like one of those type of injuries, which is you can recover and you'll be able to move, but you'll never be as explosive as you were before you tore that Achilles. I think that's what but that was
probably even more detrimental.
Yeah.
I feel like
because he couldn't even play.
Yeah. He couldn't play at all.
He couldn't play. He couldn't get there, and his whole world was shattered.
Right.
All right, let's get into some awards. All right. So who's the MVP of Mo Better Blues?
Oh man.
And what is your definition of MVP?
So either the most
valuable person,
the most important character to the movie.
Oh, it's Bleek.
Is it Bleek or is it Mama Gilliam?
That was an interesting analogy.
I'm good for those. I'm good for bringing I think Bleek Gilliam.
You went deep on the Mama Gilliam.
I think the MVP is the trumpet, which means Mrs. Gilliam.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna second you with that because I think all of Bleek's issues stem from his relationship with his mother.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has legit mommy issues that manifested themselves.
Why do you think he had issues with mom?
Because she was so mean and abrasive.
And she was like, "You're gonna play. You're gonna play."
He ended up being nice.
No. But it's
kind of like a Joe Jackson thing.
Joe Jackson, Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Yeah.
And think about it like
you
this:
resent your father. You resent your parent that made you who you are.
And we never hear from her or see her again.
Right.
They don't even mention her.
They don't talk about her being dead.
We don't know if she's alive.
And that's why
we don't know.
My assumption is she died of cancer or something
possibly,
like that.
So as a writer,
we don't know.
I'm like, oh, the trumpet, that's mom's.
Mm-hmm. So I'll give you that one, bro.
Because he carried it with care. He touched it with care.
Mm-hmm.
He handled it with care.
Remember the stand he had for it?
Yeah. He wasn't playing at all.
Like he had a light on it.
Yeah. So he put his mom away.
Yeah,
and went to go get his.
Whatever
mom.
happened to moms?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he gave it to he gave the trumpet to Giant, and then went to go get this woman. And he basically was going to give up, but he wouldn't give up until she took him back.
Mm-hmm.
And then he took him. Going back to your whole boomerang parallel, Marcus Graham went and got his woman at the end, and and she didn't deserve it. I mean, she didn't want him back initially.
Yeah.
He had to fight. He had to verbally fight and beg her to take him back.
Yeah.
So Blake,
it's my turn.
And that's my groove. Yeah, PM Don. Yeah, that's my groove, man. PM Don. But Gilliam, Bleek went back and got his woman.
Yo, but that scene. I know we didn't talk about this scene, but the scene with the film.
The film.
Oh
yeah, so going back to
on the ground,
you said "Save My Life." I was gonna bring that up earlier when we were talking about the "Save My Life" line.
Like, dude,
because dude was done. He looked like a drug addict on the floor.
Yeah,
just mumbling. He wasn't mumbling. He was going over the music, but he was tripping, bro.
Yeah,
he was tripping. There was no liquor around, with no drugs around. He was losing his mind.
That was mental.
That was mental. That was self. Yeah. And so when she was like, "You want me to save your life?" I don't think she knows what that meant for him when she said that. Because he was like, "Yeah, you're right."
You know, I don't want to use that term but he was there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
He was there.
Oh yeah, he was. Like he said, I didn't talk to anybody but my father. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Who's the LVP?
LVP.
Who's the either the worst?
LVP is Mo.
Mo and Josh.
Yeah. Unless Josh was the shorter one, the younger one. John Turturro probably. Which one was he? John Turturro was.
Mo and Josh is the Portland Trailblazers right now with Dave, right? They like.
Okay, so
you got a contract, right?
So Nicholas Turturro,
another great actor. Both of them.
Yeah. They're amazing. Both of them. Yeah. But I would have to say Josh. Josh was the.
I'm gonna say Giant.
Giant was the least valuable.
I see your Giant and I raise you Petey, who was the bookie, like the one who kept carrying Giant, right? Ooh. Like at a certain point in time, I think
that was his job, bro.
His job is to carry and collect. I get it.
Yeah, that was his job.
As long as you gonna keep digging yourself,
he gotta make money.
I'm gonna help you shovel.
Yeah.
Giant got that gig. Even though it was a non-negotiable situation, but he got him that contract.
Gig. Though. It was like
his game, his ability got him that gig.
Yeah.
Giant also got him like a bad dentist. Like his whole family was like making
your
whole family
your
was
family's
blinded
terrible.
by that really being his
loyalty
childhood friend.
Yeah. I feel that. I agree.
But he had a sickness and it was gambling. Yeah. And I do hope that one day people look at gambling that way.
Yeah.
Because it is a sickness, man. Now all these apps and stuff, you just make a bet on your phone, man. Yeah. Call this number if you need help. Like, stop. Yeah, these people, there's going to be some problems.
Damn.
Is there any overacting award for this movie?
Overacting? Oh, yeah, Spike.
Spike always.
Come on, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But that's Spike. That's Spike's thing. I love him for that.
Spike always.
Hey, you know who else we didn't say was in this movie?
Who?
Samuel L.
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson. Samuel L. did his thing.
Always a good
sign. Hold on.
Ball.
Why after his leg was
Spike Lee's dad was overacted.
Yeah.
No, I would say Branford Marsalis.
Branford Marsalis.
Remember when he said Spike went up to Branford Marsalis at the party at the house? That party at the house was cracking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They had everybody.
That was like just a cool vibe. Yeah. Everybody was drunk.
Dark
as
hell.
Drinking,
everybody was.
It was dope.
Robert Harris kissed him out, said his head looked like he told Denzel Washington, he the only dude to ever clown Denzel Washington.
Roasted him.
Yeah. Late Robert Harris.
Yeah.
Your head looked like a question mark.
Your head looked like a question
mark. Branford said
and that looked improv too. Like their reaction to that was like that wasn't scripted. They didn't see that coming.
So Branford told Spike, hell no. Remember that when he asked him for money? But I'm gonna say the overacting was the drummer.
Oh,
remember he said that shit went sharp. Like it was just like real. Like what did he say? Like he didn't.
Yeah, it was so small. I didn't even see that. But yeah, okay. Yeah, the drummer Spike Lee for sure.
For me, it's as amazing stuff as Spike does. Spike has a really bad time directing kids. Because
oh yeah, but that's not overacting. Yeah, that's under.
Yeah, just like tell them kids because at the beginning like just yelling like think about no volume control and maybe he's trying to capture that kind of like youthful exuberance, but aside from Bud, who's a fantastic child actor, the rest of the crew.
Bud.
Bud. You mean Bud?
Yeah, Bud. Aside from Bud,
like even the young Bleek was like. You don't never let me do nothing.
Yeah,
That's just
exactly.
monotone.
Yeah.
I'll never get to work with my
Hey,
friend.
but he did say it like a young black kid was saying.
Yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah.
It don't bother me. It didn't distract me at all. But I did see the underacting there.
And then last thing before we go to the fist, I want to give a special shout out to Brooklyn.
Yes.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Brooklyn is a great character in this movie,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Like just
I wanted to go there.
yeah,
man.
just
Like,
a
damn.
great character. Like just from the backdrops to the brownstones to the apartment. I don't think Shadow lived in Brooklyn. Looked like Shadow lived in Manhattan.
Yeah, Lower East Side.
Yeah. But shout out to Brooklyn.
Right.
You know, every now and then the city, you know, like the way Chicago is in Love Jones, right? Like, you know, Brooklyn is a great co-star.
Great co-star. Nah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. I like that.
Time for some fists.
Some fists, man.
Scale of 1 to 5, 5 being an all-time classic, 1 being a black movie that was made.
And it's okay. They made it. Okay.
How do you rank Mo Better Blues?
Mo Better Blues gets 5 black fists from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a movie I will continue to watch again and again. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I will watch it again. And if someone hasn't seen it, I will want to watch it with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a movie. And there's so many things that we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
We can talk about this movie for another hour.
For sure.
I mean, we could do
The
an hour
ride.
on
the bike
the
ride.
bike ride. Yeah, the bike
The
ride.
cavalier conversation about him letting you know I'm unhappy with how you've been managing me, bro.
Yeah.
He said it
Mo and Josh
with so
ain't
much
getting
love, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was
Mo
real.
and Josh is like business, like today,
Right.
like the white, you
Uh-huh.
know,
Record labels.
We've got- yeah.
ownership
We love you,
and-
man. But the deal's the deal.
Yeah.
You know?
Like Interscope.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
we've got you on paper.
Uh-huh.
We'll sue. Get the fuck out of here. I was just joking.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But I'm serious.
But I'm serious.
I'm serious. I love you.
Yeah.
I love you. Well, we're not negotiating. No, but I love you though.
Hey, your manager did.
Yeah.
Right.
Cockamamie of a manager.
How many years were they in contract? Like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
Get up out of there, bro.
We'll sign one of them like Fuji contracts,
I'm
right? Like,
never
you know.
doing that. If
Yeah.
I'm not signing for no 5-year.
Mhm.
You know
non-negotiable.
how nice the other jazz club was compared to
Man,
the
yeah.
one
Yeah.
Mo and Josh's place.
Shadow was right.
Shadow's right.
So I'm gonna give it. You know, I'm gonna give it
We already on
Yeah.
5.
5.
We already
Of
on
course,
5.
yes.
But
Yeah.
one question I want to ask you guys: if you flipped it and made this like a country music movie,
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't it have been like an Academy Award winner? Like it was like an
Oh,
all-white
yeah.
cast, and like,
Yeah.
because like if you ask most non-black
You like
people,
the kids on the stoop. Oh, of course.
yeah, if they've ever seen this movie, they probably tell you no.
Unless they're jazz like lovers. But other than that, you
Probably-
they're gonna be
yeah.
like, no.
Only
yeah,
black people have seen this movie.
Right.
And
But this movie is phenomenal.
phenomenal, bro.
and
Yeah.
this is a movie for people that love black movies,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? Who would like to be more than just simply entertained
Right.
or made laugh.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is art, right?
Yeah.
Very much
And
artistic.
it's for that reason that there's implications. There's a ripple effect of my award, right?
Mhm.
Because what it means is I'm giving it 5 black fists, but it means that as we do the rest of Spike's catalog, it's going to be a lot of 4s.
Ooh.
It's gonna
Will
it's,
there
it's because Mo Better and Malcolm X and maybe Do the Right Thing and School Days.
School
Shit, maybe
Days.
I'm full of shit.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm full of shit. But it's 5 black fists for me. It's
Yeah.
5 black fists
To
for
me, it's his most underrated movie.
yeah.
Because he don't. What about
Yeah, I
Jungle?
agree.
What about
I li-
Jungle?
Like the storyline is, I like it better than Jungle Fever.
I like-
yeah. I agree
It's
with
just-
you.
Not
it's-
that Jungle Fever wasn't good.
It was great.
But Mo Better is
I
visually.
think I've watched it twice and I can't go back. There's just too much going on.
Jungle Fever is heavy.
Here's
It's heavy,
you know
man.
what this movie does. I know we're at time, but have you ever had fine cuisine? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you bite into something and all your senses come alive.
Yeah, everybody.
Like
Savory.
taste, right? Like savory.
Mhm.
That's what Mo Better is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's visually stunning. It is sonically beautiful.
Mhm.
Right? Like, the way it plays with your emotions, like it's the full package. And I think
And
that's
you can't guess it.
cannot guess it.
Right.
You can't predict what's going on.
Nah, it's
I would have never guessed anything happened there.
I would have. I felt like I knew that Wesley and Denzel, Bleek and Shoutout were going to come to blows.
Yeah. Shoutout was always going to have his own band,
but not in that such a complicated manner. Right?
Nah, but he would have been get out of my face, man. Stop talking to me, man. Leave me alone, man. Get out of my face. Yeah. And then then Shoutout coming to his aid in the alley.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
So
that threw me off too. I'm like, oh, but at the end of the day, man, they were friends.
You know what that movie did for me? Mm-hmm. I didn't love jazz till I saw that movie. And then so I used to make slow jam tapes.
As you
sell them in college and stuff like that.
Me too. You know what I'm saying? BM volume 1, 2, 3, 4 for me. Baby makers.
I went and found out, like, and there wasn't no internet when this movie came out,
right?
Like, what John Coltrane songs like were played. I'm not talking about the songs that the Bleek Gilliam band playing, which is basically Terence Blanchard.
Right.
But there were like several Love Supreme. Like Love Supreme was played in there, several other John Coltrane, and I fell in love with like John Coltrane and Miles Davis from that movie. Like I fell in love with jazz because of this movie.
And are you still a jazz lover?
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I know that was a stupid question.
Yeah, going back to Branford Marsalis, John Coltrane, like shoot.
Listening to this movie or watching it, it's the same as listening to it. It's just dope. It sounds great, makes you feel good, makes you feel like, man, the time back then to just go to a club and just listen to jazz.
Yeah. Another thing, that's crazy. What too? To me, it's like Mo Better, Boomerang, and Love Jones. Like these were like dope black people, man. Like nobody was like they're all like.
So true.
What people don't think we are.
Right. And we are that. For sure.
We are that.
Yes.
Like,
and this
intelligent,
is
talented, successful, world traveling, like dope friends.
Right.
Like just
class.
Like when you talk here, I always hear players say when they say, "What do you miss most?" Man, I've missed being in a locker room with the fellas.
Yeah.
Like when we got to be in their dressing room.
Locker room with the fellas.
Yeah. Remember that? What he said? Yeah. This is real sister little.
And then that's when he broke character. He not character, but he broke and was like smiling, laughing.
Yeah, he's like
they was messing with him, man. They brothers, they love each other. And at the end of the day, they were there at the wedding. And when Shoutout left and got his own band, they followed him. Yeah. And they was rocking with him. These is boys. They always loyal to each other.
We don't have enough time.
We don't.
Because I still have I'm so appreciative that this movie came out when it did, and I'm so sad that there's a whole generation of kids that are not getting exposed to that kind of counterculture. And then I asked myself, like, what would I want my kid to have? Mo Better or like Wakanda? Because like they filmmaking is giving them a different type of black excellence and black greatness, but at the same time, as time continues, we're moving away from
the arts, right?
The art, the day-to-day essence, the day-to-day essence of, or the jazz, because jazz is like a older music form.
Yeah, jazz.
You know what I'm saying?
Jazz. I mean, jazz. If you connect into the vein that is jazz, it will connect you to the soul of your people.
Right.
Right. Like it connects you to everything that these people were doing. You know. And how they changed the world and how they traveled the world. So if your thread starts with hip hop and you don't continue further on, you lose a big portion of the story of you in this country.
Yeah.
I mean, like jazz and the blues. I mean, everything that we know.
Jazz,
but
blues,
it's American born.
Right.
There's nothing more American. It's more American than country music. Yeah. Because country music ain't nothing but a blues ripoff, right? So it's just like if people don't know that like that this was started by us with instruments, with like mastery of instruments. So that's why I love this movie, because it was like one of the last kind of pieces of modern contemporary filmmaking that focuses in on jazz. I mean, like Love Jones focuses on spoken word,
poetry,
which is great, but
mostly jazz is in there. But it's about the spoken word.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah,
man.
This could be a 2.5-3 hour podcast, but we can't do that today, man. But
I hope that people that haven't seen this movie are inspired to.
Yes,
based on
please
this
do.
conversation,
Please do.
'cause how many movies have you guys done where you got 5s across?
Oh,
We need to catalog, but
That's a good
we've got
question.
more 4s. We've got more 4s than we have 5s.
Right.
But this is 51. This is the 51st episode.
51st episode.
So we'll have to like put that on social. But it's in, I think, special company of those that have gotten actual
it's not
5s.
across the board.
Yeah.
It's probably a small few.
Yeah.
And listen,
Like for me to be like, yo, save this one for me. That tells you how much I like.
Nah,
I got the
yeah.
poster.
Mhm.
I have the actual movie poster.
framed in
Me
framed
too.
in
I
the
had it in
house.
college.
I've had it framed for like 20 years.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. I had it in college.
Listen, every time you in town,
Let us know
time you in town,
if you want to.
let us know. Let us what movie we watching that you want to watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every single
'Cause
time.
I love.
You know which one I want to do? I think y'all did it. I'm gonna throw it out there. Fresh.
No, and fresh is in hot demand. Fresh is in hot demand. There are people asking for fresh on a regular basis.
Let us
Oh,
know.
really?
Let us know. Yeah, fresh.
People want fresh.
fresh.
Can y'all say me fresh there? I'll come back for fresh.
We can say fresh.
Fresh
We'll
is
say
yours.
fresh.
Or
Yeah.
somebody else got it.
No. We'll save
Yeah,
it.
and
We'll
nobody
save
claimed it.
We'll save it.
Fresh was
Brother
dope.
Spears, man. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
pulling
man,
up,
for having me, man.
Yes,
Continued
indeed.
success.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, what y'all doing is special.
Thank you so much, man.
Dope.
I'm
All
glad
right.
I'm glad you're a part of it for sure.
Yeah.
Man, that's another episode of BlackBusters. I'm your host, Big Ja, along with my co-host,
Trombone tone.
and brother Marc Spears.
Yeah.
On the special guest tip.
Pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for being here, man. This is a dope ass film. I love the conversation. Please, if you haven't seen the film, go watch it, man. Mo Better Blues, Spike Lee. If you're 25, 17, 15, and you're watching this, go check it out and enjoy, man. It's a dope ass story. We'll catch you next time, man. Love life, be good or be good at it. Pum, we out of here. To the max. BlackBusters.